Hey everybody, it's Ephraim225. I've been thinking lately about what I want to do with my channel for a little while, so I thought it might be a fun idea to go back and play through some of the ROM hacks that I've made over the past couple of years, because I don't think my ROM hacks get enough exposure on my own channel. For whatever reason, I just don't make videos of them that often unless it's a trailer. So I decided to go back to something that I made back in 2011. This is the very first Fire Emblem ROM hack that I've ever made, and this intro is unchanged. It is a submission into the Ragefest contest, the very first one. If you don't know what Ragefest is, look up a guy named Marky Joe 1990. It's his contest. So this submission is called Boss Rush Mode, which is a bit of a misnomer because when you think of a boss rush, you think of like several stages of just bosses one after the other in sequence. This is actually it has every Fire Emblem 7 boss as the enemy forces, and the player just has control of every playable character in Fire Emblem 7, plus a couple that aren't. Of course, this doesn't even have all of the Fire Emblem 7 bosses because I've included only the morph versions of some of the Black Fang bosses, not the non-morphs, because like if I include both of those, then there would be over 50 enemy units, and that's kind of the cap. So you can see the thing about this ROM hack is it kind of falls into a bit of a pitfall concerning Ragefest, which is that most people, like in the early days of Ragefest, they kind of just made a submission just to say they made a submission. And that was kind of my thinking too. It was the first time I'd ever made a ROM hack, so I thought, hey, why not make this idea that I've had and throw it into Ragefest? And even taking that into account, I think at the end of the day that this is actually like a pretty fun submission to play. Like, it's fun controlling this massive army of units and just throwing them at the enemies. So even if this is kind of like a no-brainer idea for a submission, it's, you know, I still think it's fun. And it's not just plopping all of the units onto the map. I have included a couple of custom weapons and a couple of weapons that you can't get normally, like the ballista, which you can use normally on the map, but you can't get it in your inventory. And for whatever reason, when you use it in your inventory... Oh, Denning has one too, by the way. And he has this boss quote, "You must die," yes. So for whatever reason, when you use the ballista from your inventory, it actually uses the FE6 ballista animation. I was always wondering why they took that out of Fire Emblem 7, but apparently they didn't. Because when you use ballista on the map in Fire Emblem 7, they just use the map animation, like no battle animation. You get it. But anyhow, when I hacked the ballista into the player's inventory, I did not realize that warriors could also use it. Warriors and nomad troopers can also use it, and Geats is very good with the ballista, as you can see. But the animation is just a tad glitchy. So we're going to take one last shot at him, and I'm going to use Bartray here to demonstrate a glitch that I actually didn't find until I replayed this a couple times. If you kill somebody that has a death quote with the ballista like that, the death quote is played on the map, and look at what happened to the menu! It's all weird and stuff now. This is fixed if you equip a weapon or attack an enemy, but I still think it's really cool. It just looks so weird. I've actually been playing through a bunch of the old Ragefest submissions and making walkthroughs for them for some reason, but it's actually been pretty fun because there are submissions that are so hilariously bad that they're worth looking at, and there are also submissions that are really fun and really good and hilarious to discover new stuff about. So that's been a bit of a treat. Let's see here, what do I want to do now? So anyhow, I've been playing for a little while. Also, Fargus is on this map, even though he's not a playable unit in Fire Emblem 7. It's just like, I don't know why I threw him in there. Fargus and Lyn are the only characters that cause game overs if they die. Eliwood and Hector do not, because for some reason, in Lyn mode, which is what we're technically still in, The game just doesn't play their death quotes for some reason. It's really strange, actually. So yeah, as you can see, one of the bad things, well, not bad, but one of the unfortunate things about an idea like this is that it's going to, yes, I'm using speed up, because this is going to take a while, because you have to, like, move every single unit, and it's actually going to be very annoying. And the enemy turns, they take a while too, so use of Emulator Turbo is recommended. So even though I think this is a fun chapter to play, I'm still aware that it has a number of flaws. Namely, this map design, which should probably be cut by 3 if you listen to Marky Joe at all. And the final boss at the end, which is Nurgle and the Fire Dragon. They are way too hard to fight normally. You need a very, very specific strategy. Fortunately, I've come up with something since replaying this that works very well. So I'm going to demo that. And it mainly involves using the flying units to rescue certain individuals that you need to fight Nurgle, and then dropping them around here. It bypasses a lot of the map, including all of those morph bosses, who are way too overpowered and are sitting on forts. So yeah, you can't, well, I guess you could reasonably fight them, but it's probably not worth the effort. So we're gonna go ahead and just, like, do it the cheap way. Because, you know, I don't want this to take forever. I'm just showing off my own work. Not, oh, I should have rescued Sarah. Oh well. So, enemy phase. I'm just gonna speed through all of this. And you've probably noticed by now that Kishuna is on this map doing his usual thing of sealing magic of anybody that's inside of the magic seal zone, represented by Fog of War tiles. And there are enemies with status effects, and they can hit you from outside the magic seal. And if they do, you can't really cure them inside the magic seal, can you? If you're put to sleep, then that's fine. You could always just rescue somebody who's asleep and then pull them out of the magic seal zone, and then they'll be fine. You can heal them then. But you cannot do this if somebody gets berserked, and, you know, there are enemies with berserk. Nurgle has one, in fact. So let's see, we're just going to clean through the Lin mode bosses here. These are all Lin mode bosses. You can tell because very, very many of them are berserkers, which is what the Brigand promotes into. At least in Fire Emblem 6 it did. I presume it would in Fire Emblem 7, but you never get any playable berserkers. So anyway, this is the first custom item. It is called Hero Smoke. It's just a Brave Flux. You can see that it's a very, very bad weapon to be using, but the computer, you know, just thinks it's the best. What else did I put on him? Oh, I also put on him Jormungand. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a poison tome. It's a poison spell. That's it. That's really it. I think I got into Thracia recently, so that's what I was putting, like, poison tomes and everything for. So cleaning out this initial wave is not that difficult. Also, that was a rather silly move to make, even if I hadn't gotten unlucky with a dodge there. You know, it's still, I was still banking on a silencer, because that's really useful if you want to bypass some of the enemies with absurdly large hit point meters. Who did I give the ballista to? You have it. Can't reach over there with anyone good. So I'll just do this. Trade it over to Will. Yeah, I get emulator lag sometimes. It's... I don't know why I'm getting emulator lag. I used to not get it, but for some reason when I was recording... When I try to record this, it gives me emulator lag, and I'm not sure why. But it's no big deal, really. Did I miss? I missed. I can't believe I missed. Well, Geets won't miss. I think it still takes a shot. He missed twice? Yeah, I almost want to stop the recording and rewind. Just... I've been getting very unlucky lately, not just in Fire Emblem either. Let's get you out of there. Take, drop, restore. And the birds are going to keep flying along the south part of the map here, avoiding combat for the most part. Let's see here. Does anybody have a good weapon that I could put? Well, let's take another shot, I suppose. At least that one hits. And we still have bolting, so yeah, we'll do that too. And that's the end of our bolting run, unfortunately. Bolting never was very durable. Let's see here. Also, if you look at Hector and Eliwood's stats, they just completely suck. That's because, like, all of their stats are supposed to come from leveling up and taking advantage of their growths. Wow, Matthew, you got hit 2 times with 32% accuracy. At least you got rid of that guy. And more emulator lag. Oh, right. Nurgle has a Berserk Staff. That's something I should have pointed out, maybe. And actually, we do have people that can cure it, fortunately. Who's carrying Reynolds? Because I know he has... Okay, we'll just move you here. Yeah, this is strategic. I never thought to use the rescue option to ferry items through, like, having people carry them and trade them that way, but that's actually a pretty neat tactic. So we'll just get rid of the Lin mode bosses. Bada doesn't even move off of the castle gate here, but oh, I shouldn't have done that. He has a I gave him a Sword Reaver, and I'm not sure why. This was way long ago. So let's see. I was talking about something just now. Oh, I was talking about Eliwood and Hector. Most of their stats are supposed to come from, like, oh yeah, Fargus is a Devil Axe. This won't cause any problems. Okay, good. Didn't backfire. So Eliwood and Hector's stats are supposed to come from their growths and their promotion gains, but because they just spawn as their upgraded classes, they don't get any of that. And what that means is they don't get their promotion gains, and the base stats of the classes they promote into are actually really bad. Because I missed again. Because the designers obviously don't expect you to, like, they weren't going to spawn any enemies as Eliwood and Hector's classes, so they were like, oh, we don't need to bother, like, making the stats of Eliwood and Hector's upgraded classes actually good, because nobody's gonna spawn as them. So yeah, that took way longer than it should have to explain, but at least I was filling dead air. Let's see, does Dorcas have the ballista? No, he does. Okay, that's good. There we go. Don't ask how she actually picks up the Axe Reaver, considering that the unit that she killed to get it was way far away. Let's, oh, wow, that was lucky. Nice critical. Always nice to have that happen. Saves on ballista uses, which I will then waste by firing at the general with it. Okay, so these guys need to keep flying. And I need somebody to actually get on the castle gate. Little known fact about Fire Emblem on the GBA, gates, thrones, and stuff, they not only heal you and provide lots of evasion, they cure your status effects too. So it would be really great if Nurgle would use the Berserk Staff on somebody who is sitting on the gate, because that would be a complete waste. As soon as my turn starts, the Berserk gets cured. So nothing you can do about that. So I want to show Nurgle's animation with the staff, because you know that in Fire Emblem 7 he never normally uses his staff, even though he has ranks for it. So, I think after these enemies move, we should see it. After this guy... Yeah, here it goes. Yeah, it's glitched! They don't expect this to happen. Mostly because it can't happen. Alright, so we gotta cure that. Wow, another lucky crit. I don't expect to get through this. Somebody has died so far, haven't they? I don't think anyone has died, actually. But I do expect at least one person to die, because, you know, with all of the sleep staffs, berserk staffs, and all of the other stuff, like Limstella here has a weapon called the Hero Flame, which is a Brave Elfire. I kind of don't expect everyone to get out of it alive, but I will try and get like as many people as I can out of it alive. I think I'll just pull you away here. But deaths don't really matter in this hack because, you know, it's only one chapter, so it doesn't really matter. I'll just have them heal. These need to be moved up. Berserk only has 3 uses, so as soon as he uses the last one, I think I'll start moving up. Well, actually, I also have to make sure all of the morph bosses use up their siege tomes, because I gave them siege tomes. Let's see. I'll have you attack from here. You can do this. Good. Where's that ballista? Luis? Luis has it. Okay. Let's try and get rid of some of the more problematic enemies. Firing on the Druid was probably a waste of time because he's in the magic seal zone. Let's see. And I have a couple shots with the ballista left. See, these two need to eventually be rescued. I guess I'll have Eliwood do that on the next turn. Oh yeah, one of these guys has a Poison Lance. The bosses that originally guarded the legendary weapons are... Oh yeah, here's Kenneth with a Purge, and more emulator lag. And that's the third... Did it miss? It had 96 and it missed! 96 and it misses! Okay. Moving on. Use that to heal the poison. I forgot what I was even talking about. Let's see here. Oh yeah. So basically the toughest bosses are probably going to be the ones that originally guarded the legendary weapons. See here. Oh, Isidore has a hammer, which I very foolishly used up her turn, so these are the last few enemies that you really have to deal with anyways, and they're all generals. Bad day for your family when your general gets taken out by a swordmaster. Oh gosh, I wish I had armor slayers. Let's see, can Wallace do anything here? I gave him so many crappy weapons. What was I thinking? Okay, we have a couple of heroes, so let's use that. I keep looking for one-round KOs, actually. That's probably my issue. Oh, lucky! Lucky silencer. See, that's an example of the silencer being good. And the, these elixirs that we're dropping are actually pretty important, too. So I'd better bring them over. The elixirs are going to be important for something later. Does anyone have a vulnerary? Okay, you give it to you. I'll just heal him. Not sure why I'm doing that. See, the ballista's broken, but that's no biggie. That guy's down. They're all down. We're looking good. Alright, now we just have to bait out the rest of their siege tome shots. And there are actually, well, in addition to Sonya with a bolting and Kenneth with a purge, there's also Ursula with the meteor spell, which is completely new. Its weight is way too low for a siege tome, so she's actually going to double with it, which is scary, but, you know, nothing I can really do about that now. I just have to bait them all out. And if you use somebody who does get doubled, then that is actually not a bad thing, because, you know, it'll wear out the item quicker. So, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Around there should be fine. Fly up here. I also learned that Veda is really, really bad at rescuing because she only has 8 aid. And that's kind of a result of Constitution being weird in the GBA games. Constitution's pretty weird in general, actually. No need to kill Kishuna. Oh, but we've also baited out Jasmine and Paul, who just sit there until you get in their range, and Sonya just took out Merlinus, but that's no big deal. I don't even know why I spawned him. I may as well kill these two, even though it's not worth much. And let's see, who got hit? I could take the Fortify off of Renault. But we'll just use our Swordmasters to bait them. Have everyone sit in the forts for heals. Wow, they're just taking all of the hits, and I'm getting emulator lag. Good, they're dodging now. See, how many do they have left? 1 Purge, 3 Meteors, 2 Boltings. As soon as the Purge is used up... The Purge is used up, so there's 2 Meteors left. We can start working on Nurgle, though. So fighting him is very, very specific. We need to put... Because as you can see, since he and the dragon are covering each other, putting yourself in one of their range means you're basically going to be in the other's range, so we need to drop everyone up there that we're going to use up there. Priscilla doesn't need to be dropped, because she's just healing from a distance. Speaking of which... Let's see here. We want to drop... Where is Athos? Not on her. That's where Athos is. So Ninian and Athos alone can take out Nurgle pretty easily. I'm going to show how that works. Let's see. We also want... Well, we don't want Veda up there. We want a Falcon Knight up here, specifically. Right. That should be all of the... Oh, oops. Carol's dead. If this was a no-death run up to now, I sincerely apologize for this horrific transgression. Alright, so what you want to do with Nurgle is... You want to use Ninian's Phila's Might on Athos, and that will allow you to take down Nurgle's HP pretty easily. 42 damage in one shot, and Nurgle never heals unless you get him into, what I like to call elixir range, because that's when he uses his elixir. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh well, 37 damage. The dragon always does 37 damage, so it's not a big deal. What I should be watching out for is Athos' hit points. Where's Farina? Farina's right here. We're gonna need her. So... Oh, she gets doubled. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay, so what I was going to use is the trick where you cast the buff on somebody, rescue them, and then drop them and dance for them. But I guess I have no choice but to cast the buff again anyways. It's not a big deal. Farina is going to take one for the team here. We need to get some damage on Nurgle so that he does not use his elixirs to heal, and we can kill him that way. Very, very simple. Let's see, we need to drop Lyn because we need to pull Farina out now. And we need to pull Athos out now too. So here comes what is sure to be the really, really awful part of dealing with a dragon. Because there is a bug in the engine that I did not know about until I put the dragon on the gate there. Just kill you. Oh, that's so little damage. Alright, whatever. So, who's got Athos? You do. Drop you there. And he will live one turn, so that's fine. Drop that, drop that too. And where did I put those elixirs? Marcus has them, doesn't he? Yeah, okay. So what we are going to do is... with the... Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me. So the glitch in the game is that you have to kill the dragon on enemy phase, or else he'll just heal back up. It's, something that I probably should have accounted for, but I did not, so, you know, that's on me. Me silly. So you have to go through this... Lucius can't use the... Whatever. Just give you this. So you have to go through this tedious process where, you cast the buff on Athos, and then you have to get his HP back to max, and then you have to pull Ninian out, and then drop her again. In fact, I think Lucius can do it, can he? Oh, that's Renault. Oh, no, I'm silly. Lucius could probably do it. Anyhow. So you have to get the dragon to attack Athos. Athos does 30 damage with Auril plus the Phila's Might boost. And then you have to get his HP back to full, usually by using an elixir. It's a very tedious process, so not something that I'm really proud of, but... if it works, it works, and it is certainly working. Of course, the dragon's going to heal back a little bit every turn. Give him the elixir, dance the mighty dance, and then just pull her back out. Of course, the dragon's going to heal every turn. So it should be over in just a couple more turns. The best turn count I've gotten on this, just playing it by myself, is 19, which I think is pretty good, all things considered. There's like no chance for Athos to get a crit here, and that really annoys me. Okay, so we're out of the elixirs, so now we have to use Physic. And I suppose Fortify would also work. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, but this means that I have to come over here instead, because Renault used his turn on something other than rescuing. So one more turn, and that should be it. All things considered, this is a pretty fun submission looking back. But this puzzle at the end here, it's fine for a one-time puzzle, but it's still really tedious to pull off, and that's kind of not something I'm proud of. Oh gosh, I need Lyn. I also need Lynn to seize. Well, where should she go? This is safe. And I think we're good, as long as this doesn't miss. Yeah. The dragon is still technically on the throne there, but he is invisible. You can walk through him. He can still attack, but there's nothing stopping you from seizing. So that is boss rush mode. I hope it was a little interesting to see something I made back in 2011, and hopefully it'll be interesting to see the rest of my works from over the years. So later.